Good morning. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing our what sold video for last week, Monday through Thursday, which is May the 4th through the 7th. And for the first time, I think that I've been paying attention anyway, I sold more dollar value on Poshmark than I did on eBay. eBay had lots of problems that week. Wasn't that the one? The weekend
before this few days, it was
yeah.
eBay had issues because that was the day that
they were down. You had
they
the
were
7.
down. I had magically had 7 sales in one day. So it's almost like for me to do good, the rest of y'all need to be doing bad. So no offense, but I'm putting a hex on everybody.
No, so thank goodness for cross listing. That's going to be my new mantra for this year. Thank goodness for cross listing. And, I haven't even mentioned this to Robert yet. I'm thinking about signing up for Vinted. I do. The only problem is I can't cross-list to it. I'll have to, everything that I put into Nifty, I'll just open up another window and, copy-paste, put in the photos for that one until they catch up and get Vinted on there. But, I've seen so many posts where people say, I listed 6 things and within 24 hours I sold 3. Just something else to add to. Robert has started cross-listing to Whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I think I'd rather, I'm working on Depop, of course.
My theory on Whatnot is it's very automatic from Nifty. You just got to check a couple of boxes. Check a couple fields, and the rest of it's filled in. So that one's fast and easy.
I think for toys, people are looking for the $3 start type stuff. And, if I list anything on Whatnot, it's going to be at the same price I listed on all the other platforms. Is anybody else trying that one yet? Let me know, especially if you're a toy seller. Are you putting your stuff on Whatnot at your regular price? I haven't even logged into it yet on Nifty. There's no fees. So, I'm assuming they do offers like everybody else, send an offer, and because you're not paying fees, you accept it. But I'm still, I think, only at 2 sales on Depop.
And without the fees, so let's take Poshmark because the math is easy, right? And it's about equal to eBay, as we talked about on a $20 video, on a $20 sale. They're very similar in fees. So if you have something listed for $20 on Poshmark and it sells for $20, you could sell it for $16 on Vinted and get the same amount of money out of it, except for
whatever
the processing fee is, less than 3%. You could sell it for $16.25 or $16.50 and get the same amount of profit out of it.
Yeah, I just don't want to do the math. I just want it to be even, even Steven across. Everything's just the same. Although I have started putting some of my heavier stuff on Poshmark, and then I'm just adding the $5 that I know they're going to charge me because it's over 5 pounds. And we'll see how that goes. But nevertheless, let me show you what's sold on eBay, Etsy, Mercari, and my best sell platform of the week is Poshmark.
So you said nevertheless.
Nevertheless.
Me being the dork that I am, would always the more mean the same thing?
I don't know.
I guess not. It would have to be always the equal or more. Because nevertheless, it's got to be at least equal or more. So just try that one of these. They say always the equal or more.
You throw it in a sentence. If you're the grand nerd of this this group.
I want you to sound like the moron, not me.
And I type nevertheless. So it's not a word that just came out randomly. I do use that word, nevertheless.
I sounded like a moron on the little video I put on Facebook the other day. So it's your turn to sound like the moron and do something dumb.
All right, 3 sales to share on Mercari. First was this Gotha leopard cat plush. Not a brand I pick up very often anymore unless it's like an alien or something unique. Still sold $7.50 on Mercari. I like picking up these squeak rubber toys, the vintage ones. This one was made in Taiwan. It is just an elephant, and it's sold on Mercari, $7.47. And last but not least, this. I thought this would sell for more. Squishable green turtle tortoise plush, 12 inches tall, sold for $9.95. And then Poshmark, my best platform. Mud pie white rabbit lovey, sold for $20. This lovey, y'all, every time I list it on Poshmark, it sells. This is a Cloud Island elephant lovey with the stripes, sold for $30.
That sold fast.
Sold very fast. Brass fan wall decoration, sold for $10. Slowly but surely getting rid of the last of it. Manhattan toy, love the brand. This is a little 10-inch green dragon, sold for $20. These were a unique find. I bought a whole bunch of them at the bins. I'm pretty sure it was Bridgeton. And they were in like a Ziploc bag, and I ended up dividing them out into several lots. They are by the American Heart Association, just these little keychain figures. And I want to say this is like the second or third one that has sold. These were dragons, and they sold for $30. Russ Maribel, the cow plush, sold also for $20. A lot of $20 sales on there. Strawberry shortcake Play-Doh molds from 1980, sold for $20. And last but not least, another Cloud Island lovey. This one was a pink narwhal, sold for $11. And then Etsy. This was a vintage gray cat from TB Trading Company. It sold for $13.45. This was a dog and mom puppy plush. Did not have a tag, so I did not know who the manufacturer was. Ended up selling on Etsy for $26.95. Fisher Price soup bowl pot and the ABC vegetables sold for $17.95. And this might be my best sell, though. This was the Fisher Price Little People accessories and animals that went to the Fisher Price zoo. I picked it up at my favorite little estate sale company. I still have the base over here. I haven't decided what to do with it yet because I have one already. I'm probably just going to donate it. It's so large. I think I would have a hard time storing it and getting it shipped. This set sold for $44.95. And then eBay. Not a whole lot, y'all. It was rough. All right, first thing that sold were the Scooby-Doo bendable figures. I just kind of had a large lot of them. Some of them had been previously listed, and then I found some more. So I, again, took everything down, made one lot, and it sold in about 2 months for $30. This was a Mattel Loving Family horse saddle, only sold for $8.96. These McDonald's Happy Meal toys, I picked up a bunch in the bins in St. Louis. I think I ended up with like 2 complete sets, and then I had a set that was missing 1, a set that was missing 2. This one was missing several, and I still sold this for $24.79. Now, I'm not saying all McDonald's toys are worth picking up at the bins, but there were so many, and this one just panned out for me. They ended up just being more sought after than some of the others that you can find there. Loveberry Montessori ball ended up selling for $8.24. You know, it was one of those things I listed, hoping I'll find something else to go with it. Sometimes it sells before I do. The Petting Zoo, I like that brand. It kind of to me is the same quality as like Kelly Toy and Dandy. They don't normally sell for a whole lot. This was a cute little Chihuahua dog plush, and it sold for $13. Peppa Pig. I'll pick up the figures, but I do not think I'm going to pick up any of the larger pieces anymore. I had bought out a whole table of them at a yard sale, and I think I'm down to just a few more lots of them. But anytime I see the characters, I pick them up as long as they're in good condition. A lot of times kids chew on them, and the hands will have like bite marks. The shoes will have paint loss. So I try to avoid them as much as possible. But, you know, I tend to still make lots of them when I can. And this one sold for $13.45. Texas Armadillo. Robert. Armadillo. Red, white, and blue plush. This one sold for $9.95. Fisher Price Little People vehicle lot. These are from the vintage stuff. Pretty sure this was in that large lot of Little People I picked up at a thrift store. And these three sold for $17.95. It's really hard to find the fire truck with the extension ladder still attached. A lot of kids just broke them off. Babies R Us fleece blanket has been listed over 2 years. Finally sold $26.95. And last but not least for me, a bear. Russ little white bear with a charm necklace sold for bread and butter, $8.96. Following a day of sales where he sold 7 or 8 things in one day, he sold 3 things these entire 4 days that we are going through right now. All of them only on eBay. This first item was a Judy Blue women's denim shorts with the floral print, sold for $11.62. Old Navy women's jeans, size 20 long, sold for $10.04. And 7 for All Mankind black skinny pants, sold for $13.
Pretty harsh statement about your husband there.
He has gotten busy this week as far as getting more listings done every day. You know, I was watching somebody the other day and they said you should be try to at least list 3 a day. And so he hadn't been, and now he is. And I'm hoping we're going to start seeing sales pick up in his stores, but hardly anything is cross-listed. So that needs to be another project to get worked on soon.
That would be one of those, if I wasn't, you know, waiting on your every beck and call and whim and all of that sort of thing, that I would have more time to work. But I devote my life to you, and it interferes with my work.
And on that, get to work. Bye.